Welcome to Pukar Foundation's third Wellness Dialogue session on understanding and practicing empathy. Every month through this platform, we try to bring to you topics that are very relevant to mental health, stress, depression, suicide. The words we hear so often these days, unfortunately. Um, we'll bring these topics not only to raise awareness, as I always say in these sessions, it's also to build skills to be able to deal with these issues that we do face in our everyday life and to be able to help others around us to be able to deal with this as well. So before we jump into the session, I would love to take just a minute or two to talk about Pukar Foundation and the wonderful work that we are doing here. So Pukar launched a volunteer-driven emotional support helpline in August of last year. And right now we have 22 volunteers. It's a completely volunteer-driven helpline who provide free, confidential emotional support for anyone feeling stressed, depressed, or suicidal. These volunteers are thoroughly trained, multiple rounds. They try to listen to you and try to understand how you're feeling. And I'm sure each one of us has at some point in our lives felt the need for this. Um, we all have friends and family, but sometimes there's a third person's ear is really what we need at sometimes, right? So Pukar currently operates every day from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And we're trying to grow in terms of time, in terms of volunteers. So anyone who's interested, who gets feels called for doing something like this, do reach out to us during the session or after. We will put the details of the helpline in the chat so that you can also share it forward. You never know who might need this kind of a support, right? So before I introduce Sachin, the speaker of the day, just some housekeeping rules. We will be recording the session and we love for it to be an interactive session. That means you and Sachin has graciously accepted to be interrupted as many times as we would like. So, firstly, I would request all of you all to please switch on your videos. It's so much nicer to be able to see each other, and empathy is definitely easier when we are seeing, I think. So let's switch on our videos. That would really make it really lively and interactive. We will have Q&A at the end as well. So if you want to save your questions for the end, that's fine. But feel free to put it on chat or unmute yourself during the session. So on the topic of the day, empathy. In today's world, we are all talking about AI and AI this and AI that. But I think so far, as humans, we still hold the license on empathy. I hope that's going to be there for a long time. And I'm sure most of you will agree. Empathy is quite challenging even for us as humans, even though we hold the license to this. There's so many questions,
এটা আসছে স্পিক আসছে ওইটাই তুমি আবার করছো
so many blocks, misunderstandings around having it, developing it, using it. It's just all over the place, and we have just the person here to help us cut through this clutter and get down to the bottom of empathy. And I see that Sachin already has a fan base here. A lot of people already know him probably, but for those of you who don't, let me introduce him very quickly. Um, this is Sachin Chidambaram. Thank you, Sachin, first of all, for being with us today, taking this time. He is the founder of Connect Heart, a social enterprise engaged in the domain of mental health and crisis intervention awareness. They do training and services across age groups and have over 25 years of experience. And what I really like is their mission is to make mental health simple. It's getting more and more complicated these days. So this is exactly what we need, I think, right? He's also the assistant director, training and development at Samaritans Mumbai and the president of Befrienders India. He is an expert in active listening, emotional support, and suicide prevention. He's also a certified suicide prevention gatekeeping instructor. Sachin, I have heard you before, and I'm so excited for all our participants to experience your energy and the dedication that you have to this space and to this cause. Over to you, Sachin. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Those are very, very kind words. Okay, so we are going to be having a discussion. It's not a talk on empathy, and I'm hoping that I will be getting active participation from all of you as well. Um, Now, let's just jump into the topic, right? We are kind of seeing empathy has been the buzzword for the past at least a decade, I would assume, and that has come at the cost of decline or the alienation of sympathy as well. So maybe that's something that we can probably introduce in the conversation, or if you guys want to kind of touch upon, I would love to have a discussion on empathy and sympathy, and how often do we just mix up between these two things, right? Now, in addition, I was also thinking we could address what do we kind of mean by empathy currently. I would then like to explore what are the different things. I mean, how do we relate with empathy as well? Is it a quality? Is it a personality trait that a human being has or does not? Is that a skill that you can develop? Or what do we mean? If I'm going to be talking to you or sharing with you some of my pain, what does it mean for it for you to be giving me an empathetic response? What does that look like? What does that mean? We shouldn't be having a confusion about it, especially as I see that there are quite a few mental health professionals who have joined in as well. So without further ado, my first question to kind of initiate this conversation would be, what do you guys think empathy is? And right now, I just want you guys to maybe write down in the chat, in your simple way, in simple words, what do you understand? What is empathy? And let's try to get a few answers just to get the ball rolling, just to see where everyone is currently. So in the chat function, I believe you can message to everyone. That's the function available, or to the host. So please feel free to just use the chat. If anyone would like to just share verbally, vocally as well, please just raise your hand so that we can unmute you and you can put forth your view. If you're like me who hates typing, so just talk. Okay, so we have got feeling others' pain. Okay, understanding and feeling what other person is feeling. Okay, to feel others' feeling and pain from their perspective. Beautiful answers. Putting yourself in someone else's shoes, okay, and try to understand their feelings. Lovely. To be able to see through someone's perspective and feel, right? And if this is how you define empathy as, so we are kind of the gist that we are getting from the chat is, you need to know what they're talking about, like what is their perspective, context when they're talking about it, and you need to feel something that they're feeling, is kind of what we are. Okay, so and what is sympathy then? Someone has already introduced, more intense level of sympathy is empathy. What does that mean?
No, no.
Huh?
Sympathy is feeling sorry for someone. I think this people don't like, even I don't like this. I don't want sympathy for anybody.
Huh?
But empathy is like you are going into the boots of that person,
Huh?
and without judgmenting,
Huh?
you understand his or her feeling,
Huh?
sad feelings.
Okay, so this is predominantly the main definition that comes up, right? What is empathy? Empathy is putting yourself in someone else's shoe, right? And sympathy is feeling bad for someone. It's pity. But let's try to see, is it really that black and white? Because as per how we are calling it, we are saying the only way to be there emotionally present for anybody else is through empathy. Sympathy doesn't work. But think about it. Is it sympathy that is not working, or when sympathy is being overused? When sympathy is being provided without genuinity, right? Because if I ask a question, is everyone who's present here, you go through your life experience, Has it ever happened to you that you were in a lot of pain and someone came to you and they shared that pain with you? You were crying and they came in, they stayed with you, they even cried, they got impacted by what is happening, they also may have cried. But in the end, you felt better. If the answer is yes, you were the recipient of sympathy and you liked it, right? So, what is all this bad mouthing of sympathy that we are doing? Because the association right now we are having is sympathy is pity, empathy is being nice, right? This tends to be what we have generally concluded, but there is a major gap in our understanding of this particular thing. When we are talking about sympathy, essentially what we mean to say is that I'm able to understand that other person's pain. Now, you may disagree with me because the impact of empathy in the recent years has been so high. But consider this, if you didn't feel bad for anyone else, would you ever consider helping someone? Are you understanding my question? Right? The source of altruism, isn't it compassion? And what does compassion mean? In a way, it means that you feel the pain of someone else and it is affecting you. You feel bad. And without this very basic human trait of feeling bad when someone else is feeling bad, the possibility of anyone helping others won't even arise. So, is sympathy important? Yes, actually, it is very important. It's when it becomes overused or an overcorrection happens that if I make sympathy as part of my daily vocabulary, that when I hear anyone in pain, all I give them is lip service. I lost my father. Oh, poor you. Yes, this does sound horrible, right? But if I were to say, I'm so sorry to hear that, how are you? Am I not responding to that person's pain? Right,
Yes.
I am. Right, and I have
Yes.
not even begun empathy. This is something I want you guys to understand. Right now, what I just did in that process, I have not started with empathy yet. For a lot of us, empathy is everything that we do that is nice. It is not so. Empathy is not a trait that some people are empathetic and some people aren't. Empathy is not even a quality. Why am I saying this? If there are mental health professionals in the group here, you would know that even a psychopath or a sociopath can show empathy. Would you agree, disagree with me? Right. So what does that mean then? If a psychopath or sociopath who can't or doesn't feel the way we feel is able to show empathy, then all the definitions that you have given on the right hand side here, does any of it mean anything? Are you understanding what I'm saying here? Right? Or
Yes.
are you confused by what I'm saying here? Because essentially, we need to be able to first understand how confused we are about the subject before we even open or touch upon the subject. If we think we already know, then please leave. Even I can't claim that, though I've been giving lectures on it for so long. Right. So right now we are in this very uncomfortable space of, Bhaiya, I don't know what are we understanding right now. Do I know empathy or not? Do I know sympathy or not? Is empathy good or not? Is sympathy bad or not? First off, if I can request and recommend you guys, let's try to keep the good, bad, right, wrong, accurate, true, false, this kind of a binary classification. Can we suspend that for some time? And can we look and observe empathy and sympathy for what it is as a process? And I feel that is probably the best way to understand and get some applicable insights from this topic. What do you guys think?
Great. Off to a great start already. Saying that.
Okay. Only the confusion is helping you, then that's great. So empathy. Let's break it down into the first definition that you guys have given. Putting yourself in someone else's shoe. Right? What do you understand by this term? Putting yourself in someone else's shoe. And to do this, can I ask you guys, have you ever worn someone else's shoe? आपने कभी किसी और का जूता पहना है?
Yes.
Don't
No,
lie. No, I
no,
assure you,
no,
you have.
no,
I assure you,
no.
you have. Think about, remember, कभी relatives के घर गए हो? Have you been to relatives' house, friend's house,
Yes,
spent overnight there?
yes,
Yes. And suddenly you had to step out of the house for 2 minutes. So you wouldn't wear your nice, good shoes that you have brought in for 10,000 rupees. You will wear some chappal that is randomly lying around in that house.
yes,
So you have worn someone
Yes.
else's shoes or chappal or whatever. Someone else's footwear you have worn. Now, my question to you is, did you experience that footwear the same way that the owner of that footwear was experiencing it?
No.
no,
Did you understand the question?
yes.
Right? What are we saying is, you wear someone else's shoe and you will understand what they are going through. But this is almost such a bastardized definition. I understand that it started off with a lot of meaning behind it. Unfortunately, it has lost its way somewhere down the line. And now it has become this shoe transplantation program that is happening. But what do we mean by that? Have you actually ever worn someone else's shoe? And if you have the same feet size, you have similar age, height, BMI, and all of that with the other person, still that shoe will feel uncomfortable to you. Right? So what perspective did you get?
Yes.
What do we even mean by this? To simply define empathy as a process, it's as simple as recognizing someone else's feelings and communicating it back to them. This is the process of it. At the heart core of it, the process is recognize what the other person is feeling and communicate it back to them. What did you guys understand from this statement? It is a very potent statement in terms of that this statement can be opened up for the next 1-2 hours. But I want to
Sorry to interrupt you, but it kind of shakes the basic understanding that a lot of us have, which is empathy is to feel the other person's emotions.
my
But what
question then will be, how will you ever feel what someone else is feeling?
yeah,
I think it's not feeling. It's like you understand ki there are sad things in others' life and you don't want him to go through that,
So
whether
what
you
will
are
you do?
feeling or not.
Now tell me,
Yeah,
what about this? Tell me what about this that you did, right? Sachin, it is about understanding that the other person is going through a
is
difficult
in
time,
pain. Yeah,
is
yeah.
in pain. Now, what in this understanding was empathy?
No, it no. Then you do something. That will be empathy.
I can give him money.
No,
Is
no,
that
no, no,
empathy?
no. No, it's thought process.
Do you see how we are changing the goalpost here? What about the thought process? Stay with me. Huh? I'm not trying to make you uncomfortable.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
only
yeah.
trying to explore that topic deeper.
Yeah, yeah. Even I want to understand. Yeah, yeah.
So you
Also,
just said that it is a thought process, Sachin.
hello.
Yeah.
Megha, just a moment. Huh? Let's just finish. I'm sorry, iPhone empathy. Would you like to introduce your name so that I can call you something?
I am
Okay.
Gurjeet Bhatia.
Okay. Hi, Gurjeet.
Hi.
So, Gurjeet, yes, you mentioned, see how we moved. Earlier, we were talking about feelings. Suddenly, now we have jumped to thought process. What about thought process makes anything empathetic?
No, till you feel something about
Now,
like
back to feeling.
yeah. Feeling to, but I have gone through many feelings. So I connect how bad I felt. So that person would be going through some
Now,
feeling.
think about this. Is it
So without
about
being
feeling bad? Again, do you see what is happening here? We are communicating everything that we have said is not empathy. You just said you will feel bad when the other person is feeling bad. Isn't that what we said was sympathy?
no, not feel bad. but
Mm.
will connect it with my feeling when I was in a bad state. So I won't like any person to go
I will.
through that thing.
Wonderful. Now let me put it this way. My friend lost their father. They passed away. I lost my father. Will I know what my friend is feeling?
Yes.
Think over this. एक बार सोचो. Do you think the relationship my friend had with their father is the same that I had with my father?
Sachin,
Hmm.
I think we may not be able to really understand the feelings and replace or kind of an help, but if the other person gets that we are there for the person, we are trying to understand and be there, available. I think that's where is the person
That
feels
is you
comfortable.
being
We
patient.
cannot solve the problem.
There you go. We have come because nowhere did we say anything about solving anyone's problem. I didn't say that, did I? No.
No.
But Jayendra is bringing a very important point. Okay, Sachin, we have to help them just see that we are there for you, yeah. But you see, what you have expressed right now is very intangible. You cannot recreate this. What you have just shared. Can you recreate it in a pairing in two people? You are there. How do you make the other person understand that you are making an attempt to understand? We are saying such big words. We are saying such complicated human interactional processes like we are doing it on a daily basis. Are we though? Right? What is empathy? I told you, simple words. The process is recognize what the other person is feeling, communicate it back. This is what a sociopath or a psychopath will do as well. This is the skill set required behaviorally. The challenge, however, is everything that stops you from doing this. Empathy does not even start till the feelings of the other person have come into the conversation. Let me give you another controversial statement. All the nice things, feeling bad things, feeling good things, trying to make the other person feel bad, and all these processes that you're talking about has nothing to do with empathy. Empathy does not even start till the other person's feelings have come out. Now, some of you will say, but when the person is saying, I had such a bad day, it was the worst day of my life, and da 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 da. Did the person share their feelings? In what I just said, right? If you heard that, would
They
you say the
described the
person
day.
has shared their feelings?
They describe their day or the event or the situation.
Right, they just said they had a bad day. But we quickly conclude that I know what the person is feeling. What is the person feeling? Bad. Okay. What is that feeling? What does bad mean?
We should try to listen to him. We should give a ear
Yeah.
to. Yeah.
Now, see, that this was supposed to be the first step,
Yes, we should do that. Yes.
right? Parag, you were trying to say something. You're on mute, so we can't hear you.
I was saying you just asked what does the word bad when you say what I feel bad, what exactly what I want to say. When I say I feel bad means I try to understand it is a feeling of sadness or sorrow. That was I was prompting.
Right. What would you call if you were feeling guilty?
If I am feeling guilty, I would say it is my fault that I put you in that position.
You're still feeling bad?
Bad, yes.
Right? If you're really scared and anxious about your future, you're still feeling bad?
Yes, true.
You're scared for your life, you're still feeling bad?
So all negative feelings.
Now do you see you have opened up another Pandora's box? What are negative feelings? Because the moment you have said there is something as negative feelings, then there becomes something as positive feelings.
Yes.
Okay, and हम तो हैं Mr. O positive या B positive. हमें सिर्फ positive feelings चाहिए. And if I were to ask you what are positive feelings, you will say happiness. contentment, satisfaction, gratitude.
Satisfaction. Yes.
All these amazing words. Because if I don't have these feelings, then I'm feeling bad.
Right.
But do you see, this has got nothing to do with feelings. What you're describing is your general mood.
Yes.
And we may be interpreting bad in our own ways. The example you tried.
Exactly. What bad means to you may mean the end of life for me. What means horrible for you would be like every Monday for me. So what is feeling bad or good or these terms that we are using? These are not feelings. This becomes your next lesson. All you have managed to do is touch the surface. You have touched the surface and you are saying it's hot. Is that chemical heat? Is that physical heat? Is that transactional heat? Is that kinetic heat? Where is that? What type of heat or nothing? We don't know. But we believe we have understood. To give you a simple example, right? What happens is, imagine you have it's middle of the night and we are in a Sunsan road, in a very quiet road, dark. There's a small bus stop with a small light and you see a person is sitting under the light and they are crying. You see this. Tell me, what is happening? What would go through your head? What is the person going through? What is the person feeling?
Something bad has happened or some bad feelings. Yeah.
Something bad feelings. Again.
Helplessness.
Could be helplessness and all these things. Now, my question to all of you. How many of you have cried when you were sad or helpless? Feel free to raise your hands. Okay.
No.
Congratulations. No. Okay. How many of you have cried when you have been angry?
Yes.
Always.
Okay. Hands are coming up. How many of you have cried when you have been really scared? Okay. There are people raising
No.
hands. Fingers again. How
No.
many of you have cried when you have been really happy? देखो फिर से हाथ उठ रहे हैं. Then tell me, what does crying mean?
Outburst of emotions.
Right? And in the same way, Gayatri, if I ask you, have you guys ever laughed when you were really happy? Yes? Have you ever laughed when you were really sad? अरे भाई ये तो इतना खराब है कि कुछ भी नहीं हो सकता.
Yes.
And you laughed. Have you laughed out of fear? Have you laughed out of anger as well? तू तो मर गया बेटा. Then what does laughter mean? Have you gone completely quiet when you were angry? Have you gone completely quiet when you were sad? Have you gone complete? Are you getting the gist of what I'm saying here? Have you given a bad word when you were angry? Have you given a bad word when you were sad? Have you given a bad word when you were afraid? Then what did we just define here? What does crying, laughing, what do these things mean?
They are our reactions to the
Just a
situation.
reaction.
But does it tell you what you're feeling?
No, can't say.
This thing we need to understand. All that you are seeing, when you are seeing a reaction, a person expressing pain, the only information you may have is that the person is overwhelmed. It can be through whatever feeling, it can be through happiness or sadness or anything, but the person is overwhelmed. What does that overwhelmed also mean? I'm not saying being overwhelmed is negative either. Please stop this negative positive association. We will not learn anything otherwise. Right? What do I mean by this? Being overwhelmed, that means the intensity of those feelings have increased to a point where I'm not able to keep control over my body, keep control over my thoughts, and I'm reacting instead of responding. Is that kind of landing somewhere? Right? So when all that you're getting is the person is overwhelmed, now begins the process of exploration. So the recognizing of feeling. Give me one way that you will be 100% sure of what the other person is feeling.
By asking them.
There you go. This is the only way. Right? Until and unless you hear it from the person or the person has explained it to you. I'm feeling really horrible, Sachin, because I was really mean to my daughter yesterday because I was really caught up with my work pressure and everything. And she was trying to be cute and coming to me when I was really caught up in my work. And I just shouted at her. And I'm really feeling bad about it today. Yes, I can probably check here. Are you saying that you've been feeling guilty? Yes, I do feel guilty. Oh, guilty. Now, do you see this is where the process of empathy even begins?
Yes. Make the other person speak more and more.
Right? And the first thing is you can't make anyone do anything, is also something you need to understand. The only thing you have in control is your willingness, is your intentionality, that you're offering your time and space to the other person. Other than that, you can't do anything. It will be completely on the other person to even trust you to share anything, let alone share about feelings that I have not shared with anyone before. Make myself that vulnerable that I'm not just able to share my feelings, I'm feeling comfortable enough to feel it while telling you. And the process of empathy would begin only when you recognize those feelings that the person is sharing. And then communicating it back to the person. And this is the magic of empathy. Have you ever heard of the story of the monsters of the past, where the name of the monster that their mother gave would be hidden? And the monster goes around with a different name. And the only way to beat that monster is to be able to say that monster's name. Empathy kind of works in this way. Our discomfort, when we have associated a particular feeling as negative. Oh, Sachin, I am even scared of my anger. My anger is so scary that I can make people cry. So what did I decide when I was young? I will never get angry. Angry is a bad feeling. So anytime I feel angry, I suppress it. I bite down on it. Because nobody deserves my anger. And because I can get angry, I let that fester in me. I'm the only person who deserves it then. I'll keep it in, I'll put it in this prison inside my mind somewhere where anger is not getting any attention. Anger is growing up like this feral child inside you because it does not get any help in improving itself. Why am I saying this? Does anger have a purpose, guys? Parag is unmuted. Parag, what do you think? Does anger have a purpose for in your life?
Yes, it allows me to
negative feeling.
It allows me to express my feeling at that point of situation or the moment.
It is the one power you have to stop abuse, for example. If you are in a situation that you are not comfortable with, you feel like you are being taken advantage of, you are being taken for a ride, how do you stop that thing? You need anger.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But if I have restricted it, what it ends up doing, anger does not go anywhere. You have to understand, like, every feeling that we have is already present inside.
Correct. Agree.
Yes.
Yes.
Some of us also understand that feelings are a result of hormones, chemicals.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Right. Now you are saying that a chemical got released. That means a chemical that was not in existence got created inside me. What do you think happens after it is created and it is not used?
Sits in the body.
It stays. It stays.
But at the same time, we should not immediately react with that feeling. Probably we need to process it. I mean, it's not that we have to keep it in prison, but we need to express it in a proper way. Does it make sense?
Yes. The point is, you can only do this if you have a cordial relationship with that emotion, with that feeling. If I'm scared of my own feeling, will I be able to effectively use it? Or will I always use it like under suppression? Because what happens towards after some time, this particular feeling is becoming the monster that we all become scared of. The monster is not anywhere else, but it's inside you, is a part of you. What are we ending up fearing? Our own self. A part of my own self I'm beginning to get scared of. Right? And
Yes.
the way to beat this monster, or the initial first part of it, is to call out that monster's name. That monster needs to hear its name. Empathy is this process. When I'm speaking with Parag and if Parag is able to see my monster, oh, such a scary being and all that, but ye to anger hai. Hey, this is anger, huh?
Sachin, I have a question then.
Yeah.
Is it even possible then to show empathy to your own self?
Point is, what is stopping you from trying?
So if
I mean,
I'm
the one
accepting,
person we can expect empathy from should be ourselves.
right?
If
So if
nobody, at least
the
one
way,
person.
sorry, the way you have defined empathy is to kind of recognize that emotion and communicate it. What you're saying through all of this that you just said right now is that we stop ourselves from doing that itself.
Exactly.
So
The
that's
point
step
is,
one.
yes, because we are saying you are going to recognize someone else's feeling, but
Yeah.
if you think that feeling is negative, would you even approach it? Are you understanding the challenge here?
Yes.
If you
Yes.
hate pineapple, when you see pineapple outside, do you have a good reaction to it? No. If you hate anger in yourself, when you see anger in someone else, how do you think you will respond?
You'll judge.
Right? Yes. Right. So all this thing, oh, recognize, feel that other person's feeling, connect with it, is only based on convenience. Sachin, as long as their feelings are not too intense, where it doesn't look scary, or how many of us feel uncomfortable when the person in front of us is crying?
Yes, do feel.
Yeah, gali de raha hai. If the person is agitated and is giving bad words,
No,
In
that
you
is
fact,
feel like
difficult to
helping
take.
them.
in
You
fact,
don't feel like
Sachin, this was
Difficult to take.
this was one of the questions I did want to ask you also, where it's, when it's the people we love, we at least want to make that attempt to have empathy and all of that. Sometimes it's people we love we're struggling with. Let's say they're have addiction or depression, which we are scared of. We don't know what to do with it. How do we show empathy there? Right?
yes. That's why. Do you see? Because your question is coming, Sachin. How do I still be nice to the person? Is your question?
Yeah.
You're not asking about empathy.
Exactly.
Mm.
Now that's all falling into place.
We are not asking about empathy. We are asking, Sachin, how do I still be nice? Because I'm like hating the person right now, yeah. They have made my life a living hell. I know that this is a mental health issue that is making them shout and scream at me, give bad words to my family members, and all of that. It is not them. I know this human being. They are going through something that is causing them to say all this mean stuff to me. How do I still be nice? This is where compassion is needed, unfortunately. Empathy यहाँ पे start भी नहीं हो रहा. What you need here is compassion, an element of sympathy, to know that even this is happening out of pain is the realization of compassion.
Yeah, nice.
Is that making sense?
Yes.
Right? Even the abuse that the person is probably throwing at me is a result of the pain that is happening. We all say, na, hurt people, hurt people. What does that mean? Right? But am I able to go beyond that hurt? That is when empathy starts. It is about seeing the different way the person is showing, expressing pain. Every one of you expresses pain in your own way. Some of you cry, some of you isolate yourself, some of you give bad words, some of you punch the wall, some of you punch the human being in front of you. But understand that that is the learned process you have taken on. Yes, no?
Yes.
Right?
Correct.
So we have to first stop only validating my form of expression Be able to see that all these forms are also forms of expressing their pain. If I'm able to have that sympathizing power with me, then I will begin to empathize with them. Where I'll begin to, oh my God, you're giving such bad words to my family member. You must be really going through some shit right now. Or I don't see you doing this. Is the realization I have with compassion. You want to talk about this? Is still compassion. I want to still be there with you while you are in this pain. Is compassion. But while I'm with you in this pain, I cannot solve your life's problem. I don't know what is the next best step that you can take. I don't know what you can do that will make your life just a bit better. There is no way for me to find that out. That is your journey. You are the only one who can do it. Empathy is also about realizing that you are not God. You cannot affect another human being's life. That is what you're aiming to do, right? I want to help this person no matter what, even if the person doesn't want. Right? No. That is your need for making things better. But empathy, sympathy over here, the understanding is that the person is the only one who can walk his path. And the essence of empathy comes in, hey, I'll walk with you. I'll wait for you to tell me what you are seeing. I will not make up the world based on what I am seeing. I'll wait for you to tell me what you are seeing. This is perspective. Even here, empathy is not begun. I need to be patient there. Once I'm able to do that, the person may be able to express, yes, it is a painful place for me. Thank you for letting me know that. Can you tell me more? Helps the person become vulnerable enough to reach inside them. See, the major problem with people is we are distracted by the problem that we see externally. I'm feeling pain inside, but the reason for it I'm putting it is outside. It's because my mother is ill, my father is unemployed, this one is doing this. All of these reasons that we have got. Please understand those same reasons can exist in other people's life, but they may not be same way affected by it. You are the one who's being affected by these set of problems. So is it the problem outside or inside? Becomes the question. Right? And when we have this, the only thing we can do is be able to reach inside. And the internal world does not have fans and all these real world things. It only has feelings and thoughts. Can I help the person reach their feelings? And when you reach there, this is the tricky part. Because even a sociopath can do this. I can show interest in your feelings. But then rather than it being a cognitive empathic process, which a lot of mental health professionals also end up doing, I really recommend you not to do that. It's a straightforward path for burnout, at least what I have experienced. Cognitive empathy, and what do I mean by that? That means you are doing this as a physical process. You are recognizing the feelings and you're communicating it back, but there is no connection to it. If you do this as a process, purely as a process, as a cognitive process, gone. I am asking you or recommending you guys to have emotional empathy. And this is a skill that you can work on, build. What does emotional empathy mean? It is about recognizing the feeling in others and connecting with that feeling inside you. Okay, this is very nuanced. I want you all to try and pay attention on this particular part. Right? What does recognizing the feelings mean? I have to ask. There is no other way. But when I get the feeling, the person has managed to share and we have reached guilt, for example. When I get that feeling, I have to connect with that feeling. I'm not looking at connecting with that person's situation. This is the difference. Because a lot of us think that empathy means if it has happened to the person, do that to yourself mentally. Matlab, the person said, I lost my father, he died. What do? in my mind, I kill my very healthy father. And I think that now I will feel what the other person is feeling. False. This is pity, because there is no genuinity here. You don't know what the person is feeling.
So, Sachin, when you say recognize that feeling inside of me, let's say they're feeling shame or some other emotion which I haven't experienced or I have not accepted that I've experienced, or I've not recognized that I've experienced. So how do I then do this in this case?
Wonderful. Now, the point is, my friend came and told me my father died. I lost my father. Now, my question to you guys is, can I show this person empathy if I have not lost my father? Are you understanding the question? Can I show this person empathy if I have not had that loss? What do you guys think? How many of you say, yes, you can?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes. How many?
Yes.
Oh, you can't.
No.
Yes.
Right?
No. Yes.
No.
We can.
No. Those who
Can.
are saying no, remember I told you already the answer. Even a sociopath or a psychopath can show empathy. Right? What do I mean by this? The point is, you may not have lost your father, but have you experienced loss in your life?
Yes.
Are you
Yes.
understanding the question?
Yes.
Right?
Unless
This
we
is not
experience it,
about
it is stuck.
you don't have to experience the same intensity here. I'm not talking about intensity. We are still going into that good, bad, horrible. No, I'm not talking about the intensity. I'm talking about the feeling, the emotion, the feeling that are there in the core of it. Right? When you get that, oh, what the person is experiencing is loss. I'm not concerned about whether it is because of father or pet or son. I'm concerned with loss. And what I connect inside with me is my sense of loss. When I have experienced loss, what does loss feel like? See, I may not ever know how that person felt when they lost their father. It is not possible. First off, this is what we need to understand. You cannot know how the person is feeling. I can only try. I can only try to help the person share that whatever they are feeling with me. But when I hear what they are feeling, I connect with that feeling because of a loss that I have experienced. Doesn't mean I have to now go into my loss. Shit, yaar, maybe even I lost my pet and it was such a painful thing. No, I'm not asking you to now get overwhelmed with your own loss. This is why it is so important that you need to be able to have a good relationship with your feelings. Because whenever, if you are trying to practice empathetic listening, it cannot happen on some feelings and some feelings are ignored. Is that making sense? Yes, Jayendra?
May I say or ask something? Yeah, actually, when you are talking about the monster, identify the monster. If monster is a feeling, what I think I realized after some time is that something happened to me either in office or personal yesterday. I was struggling. It was overwhelming. But if I'm able to name that feeling, I feel lighter.
Yes.
So when
This
I
is the
experience
magic.
that, go ahead.
This is the magic. And those who, for a lot of you, this is not experiential truth yet. Because we just do not practice this kind of a listening. It is a much more advanced style of listening. We in fact, when we do the training, it requires us 40 hours to do this training with anyone. Right? Because even though I may have explained everything to you today, you are taking away a lot of insights. Is it still applicable? Are you able to apply it in your life? There will still be a gap. That is why trainings and things come into play. But I hope are you guys still with me? You are able to understand. We have to recognize those emotions, which can only be possible when I allow the person to share it with me, welcome the person to share it with me. Once they have shared, if we are lucky enough, if they have trusted us enough to be able to share, reach that vulnerable place and share that feeling, we have to connect with that feeling. What does that feeling mean? I don't have to go and flow with that feeling now. I don't have to now, oh my God, I'm missing my cat now. No, have to still be in that calm space. Right now, we are on that person. So that other perspective is still functioning. We are utilizing our emotional perceptive sense and we are connected to that feeling. This process of you connecting to that feeling inside you and the person already connected to their feeling from their side. This is a moment of connection. Think of it like two tuning forks, 140 ka frequency. If this tuning fork is at 140 ka frequency as well, now if it is primed at that, if this vibrates, this will vibrate. Yes?
Yes.
This is a connection. Are you able to see that?
Yes.
It's kind of same thing that is happening, but with feelings. Imagine that vibration is a feeling. You don't have to vibrate at the same intensity, but you have to vibrate at that frequency. And when you are connected with that feeling, the process is automatic. The connection is almost palpable, and for the person, it's an experiential reality. And how does this help? Let me just finish that, and Rakesh, I'll come to you. How is this helping? When the other person is able to see that they are in with their monster right now, and the other person in front of me is also with that same monster, but look at that person able to have such a nice relationship with it, then I am through this association able to be a bit nicer to my own monster as well. Be able to see that this is also not a monster, just a part of me. Even this monster, when it actually got named, when it got a name and got called out, and when it was responded to with love and compassion, even this one responded in a mature manner. Right? So through our acceptance of their feeling, they begin to start accepting their own feeling, if that makes sense. That's how empathy works. Like in the meta behind it is when you're vibrating and you show the person that it is okay to feel this way. Not by saying it. Unfortunately, a lot of us think that this is gyan that needs to be vocalized and said. Now, we don't hear and get it. It has to be an experiential truth for me. Like if you haven't had depression, if you haven't gone through depression, there's no point in me writing a story about depression. You will not understand it. But can you show me, if I tell you I'm feeling really low, you can relate with low, na? Right? What ends up happening is we start questioning the person's reality. Are itna low? Are you sure it is so low? Or we try to make the person feel positive. Are low ke baad up hi aata hai. So wait till tomorrow or half an hour. It will start turning around. And all the other things, what we're trying to do is just trying to distract the person from feeling their own feeling. I am asking you to do something completely opposite. It is not about protecting the person from their feelings. It is about helping the person have exposure to their feelings. You cannot protect a person from what is inside of them. Let's understand that. Like that is what we are trying to do here, right? We cannot. The only thing we can do is help them approach it in a much nicer way. Yeah, Rakesh, you wanted to share or ask something?
Yes, I wanted to share one thing. I am from Saath Suicide Prevention Center, Ahmedabad.
Thank you so much, Rakesh.
So actually, today my point got cleared. To understand what is empathy, regarding empathy. What you said, connecting and then feeling that feeling. Intensity may be different.
Yes.
This I have experienced getting automatically during when we visit Shamshan. In Shamshan, we also are overwhelmed with that grief. And we feel connected at that time.
Yes. Do you see how everyone, without even speaking a word, there is that sense of connection? Please don't gaslight yourself by saying that is all nakli.
No. That I have experienced.
Sorry, go on. Yeah.
That I have experienced. But that doesn't happen when we are talking to someone or listening to someone in our cases.
And this is why I want to change this. Empathy is not some secret masala that just apne aap prakat ho jata hai. you
नहीं,
can
अपने आप
see
शमशान में प्रकट होता है, अपने आप हो जाता है.
that also is now more of a sense of sympathy. There is an it's an intuitive connection that you're feeling
Yes.
compassion. Empathy still will only start when there is a conversation on feelings. Empathy is a conscious act.
Okay.
Empathy is a skill that can be developed, and it is a conscious act. It is not a personality trait. It is not a quality of a human being. Right? So let's not deify that, and let's not alienate it either. Let's try to make use of it for its purpose. See, even empathy can be completely useless if that is not the conversation it is meant for. Right? If my father, for example, just received some bad news and he's in a lot of this thing and he's like, Sachin, book my flight for 6 in the morning tomorrow to Kerala. There is something that has happened. I need to do that ASAP. And if Dada, how are you feeling right now? He'll slap me.
Correct.
Right? So let's not just use like this is a master key either. It is a skill. You can develop. You develop it, then now you have one more skill set added to your arsenal. That's all. You don't become great. You don't become nicer. You could still be a sociopath for all that I know.
I want to ask one thing.
Yes, please.
If a person is going through some grief and he is able to handle by itself, then there is no problem. Now, if someone is sad and we are not able to feel like him, but still we have a feeling he is sad and we have to do something, then
This
how
is
to
sympathy.
start?
This is
How to
sympathy.
start?
हाँ पहले but बोलो ये sympathy है.
नहीं.
हाँ ये देखो आ रहा है. I am feeling bad for someone in pain. Understand that this is a pain in you.
No,
You are not responding to the other person's pain. What you're responding to is the pain inside you.
No, I'm not feeling painful for that person. But I want कि जैसे होता है ना कि in the world nobody should be in pain.
Why?
So that person
Who said? Who said?
नहीं, if it is in my connection, in my friend circle, and he is in some pain, although I'm not feeling. Suppose my friend has lost the husband, so no, I want to मतलब divert her mind and do मतलब what to do.
Why?
Because we don't feel good looking at them being sad.
The point is, I cut my hand. I got a cut. Right? And what you are saying is, Sachin, I don't want you to feel pain. Is that possible? Are you understanding?
No. I want him to not to go into depression. I want her not to go into depression.
How do you think people go into depression? Do you think people go into depression by feeling and expressing their pain, or running away, distracting and suppressing pain?
Running away. Yes.
You are saying,
running
Sachin, the process of helping them is distract and help them run away.
Yes.
How is that helpful then? We literally
No.
said them being distracted and running away from their pain is causing them more issues later on. Mental health issues are a result of this. All of this happens. Okay, then when someone is in pain in front of you, do we try to help them feel that pain and give them company during that time? Or do we try to keep them away from that pain?
No, we should not keep them away from that pain. I give you, I am also from Saath Suicide Prevention Center, and we were taught like if somebody calls in distress, my friend is going to suicide. So what we tell them ki for the time being you divert her mind, ask some questions which don't have answer in yes or no. So like this in for distress, for empathy, there is some way.
So let me address this.
Can I just interject for just a minute? We are at the top of the hour, so I want to make sure that at least those of us who have to leave are able to leave. But before that, we want to send out a feedback form to all of you to please quickly fill And while you're doing that, if you can please switch on your videos for a quick picture, and then we will continue this discussion for as long as Sachin allows us to.
Yeah. Okay, but just to quickly recap, while everyone is getting their videos on, it will be really nice so that we can just have a moment of to capture.
A moment of connection, hopefully.
Moment of connection. Everyone vibrate on 140 ka frequency.
Everyone, please switch on your videos if you can. Thank you so much. And the feedback form has been shared. Please do fill it out so that we can bring more such wonderful sessions for you. And
Thank
we will
all.
get back to your question. I think Sachin will, I'm sure. I'm so sorry to interrupt that.
No. So I just to kind of recap where we are till others kind of come in. What we have spoken about, empathy is not about being nice, good, or any of those things. Empathy is essentially a skill set and an action that you have to do. This will not begin till the conversation on feelings has even started. Till then, please don't fool yourself by saying I am being empathetic. If the discussion, if words of feelings, I reiterate, feeling words, they need to be feeling words. If feeling words are not coming in the conversation, the process empathy has not started. You're using sympathy. You're using your own internal pain and motivation to drive the conversation. It is not happening in a conscious feeling based conversation. Is that making sense?
Right. Correct.
Awesome. So I think we have the majority of those who can come on the video.
Perfect. Thank you, Sachin. Please, you can take over and answer that question, and maybe we can do one more and then wrap up if that's okay with everyone. Thank you.
Great. So cheese, everyone. So I guess that's a picture being taken. Wonderful.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. So can we have that question again, or can we just check with everyone in terms of questions? Is there anything else as well? With regards to feelings, we have to first connect with that feeling. But when we say connecting with that feeling, does not mean you have to put yourself in the same situation. Please do not put yourself in that person's situation. This is secondary trauma.
I have one question.
That person has been abused or gone through a really bad experience. Please don't try to be like, what if I went through this? Especially if you have a very high imagination or if you have a very high emotional range, this will be a torturous for you. And it will be most difficult for you to stay calm. What empathy will you give?
How to start with a few questions or
now in this first thing, Gurjeet, what you have to do is pehla cheez hame remove the agenda. Now, see, I'm trying to give a 40-hour training in a very nuanced way. One of the first things, if you have an agenda that I want to make this person feel good, you will fail. Why? Think about our audacity here. The person may have been going through depression for the past 10 years. But I am saying, talk to me for 40 minutes and you will feel good. Who are you, Baba? Nobody. So that's why, remember, I told you, empathy mein first thing, you are not God. This is a realization. All you are is a human being with your own set of flaws. You do not know how to lead the perfect life. Please do not have the audacity to tell others what's the best way to live. There is no way you know what the right answer is. And if you do, are you open to deal with the repercussions of that person's tragedy? Are you understanding? आपको आके बोल दिया मेरी बीवी मेरे पति के साथ बहुत झगड़ा होता है. आपने बोल दिया डिवोर्स ले. चलो अगर ले भी लिया, and anything that happens out of it, are you going to supply child support to that person now? Are you going to run behind the lawyer for that person now? No. Then stop giving these one mantra answers and think that you have done a great job. This is where sympathy gets its bad name. We are constantly trying to make ourselves feel good by helping others. This, you are only falling in for your altruistic selfishness.
Correct.
The aim is First and foremost, for you to understand, there is absolutely no power I have in reducing this person's pain. There is absolutely no power I have in changing this person's life. There is absolutely no power I have in anything that happens in this person's life for in the next half an hour, 1 hour, the people in their life. There is nothing I can do. So what can I do? I have some time. I have some mind space. All I can do is I can offer it to the person. And this is where my process starts and stops. If the person takes it on, yes, remember Saath, Samaritans, Mitram, Pukar, what are we? Can I help you? Samaritans, Mumbai, can I help you? Pukar, can I help you? Saath, can I help you? What are we doing here? This is the first step where we are checking. We are not saying, how can we help you? We are not telling them what we will do to change their life or that we are the best thing that has happened since donuts. Right? So this agenda, first thing, you cannot have. Second, if your agenda is to make the person feel good, understand already you are going to suffer. The process of healing involves the person experiencing more pain because anything that has been suppressed will need to be opened. Do you think that is a easy process or a tough process? Tough process. The challenge for you is, are you open to giving that, staying there with that person when they are dealing with this icky, dirty, disgusting, painful internal part, where they don't know whether they are going to laugh this moment or cry this moment or give bad words or any such thing. I don't know where my emotional world is going to take me. Are you still going to be there? Use your sympathy for that. And once you have shown that person the confidence ki bhai, you can have whatever in front of you, I am still here. This allows the person to, for a lot of people, for the first time, to see that someone can see my pain. This is the first step of connection. The moment I feel witnessed, is that making sense? When I know, it's like that hive ke saath, agar main ek individual hu and there is a hive, the hive needs to know my pain. The hive needs to know my experience. And the only way the hive can know is when I'm telling other honeybees. It is only that way that the collective will come to know about this, right? So when someone is able to witness my pain, I first experience a moment of connection. But then to sustain that moment of connection, I need to use the language of feelings. I need to help the person reach there. I need to show interest and curiosity towards their feelings. And when these very hidden, deep, misunderstood things start popping out, catch them. Call their name out. Help the person hear the name of the monster that they are carrying. That begins the process of healing. Right? But again, this does not heal a person. There are multiple things in their mental health journey that they can go through. This is essentially the beginning of talk therapy. But depending on how long you have suppressed and kept that pain inside you, that monster may have a bigger name as well. So, which may need a modality, a therapy modality, maybe medications as well to certain degrees. But essentially, that's just an intensified version or a pathological version of the same pain that we are talking about. Right? So that is my talk on empathy and understanding empathy and probably trying to apply empathy. But yeah, I guess we have time for one more question and any other thoughts.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Sachin.
much.
I think Gayatri had a question, and thank you again, Sachin. This was eye-opening. I think everyone agrees, and we can see people are still sticking around after 12. It's because of your energy, and we really appreciate that you were here. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Gayatri,
so
your
much.
question, and then we can close.
Thank you, Anu. So Sachin, I had this question, like when we are dealing with our mental situations, we're going through something, at that time we hurt people around us somehow. Okay, so this question is on to how we can be empathetic to ourselves, because we realize it that we hurt people around us and we can't do anything about it because we are not in that situation where we can take, that kind of decision. We just don't know why we react in such way. So how to deal with that, and what about that empathy to yourself?
See, the unfortunate part of that question is, Gayatri, if I'll ask you the same question, right? If your friend comes to you and they are saying that, Gayatri, I'm going through a lot, and because of what I'm going through, I am impacting other people in my life, right? Would you offer them help? If someone is going through that, would you offer them help? Do you think they need help?
I mean, that person is...
Just take this moment and see for yourself that the problem that we are facing here is not just the pain, it is also how we do not even offer help to ourselves. That my pain is something that is happening because I deserve it to some level, or that my pain needs to be something that I deal with. My question to you is, why not ask for help, right? Do you think you deserve help? Will be my question. If you deserve help, do you know who to ask for help? Right? And can you do that? Is there something stopping you from asking for help?
So you're saying being empathetic to yourself is first step is to ask help.
First is to see, empathy will only begin when feelings come into the picture, no matter even if it is your own conversation. But for that, you may have to be a good listener to yourself. For that, you will have to sit with yourself. For that, you need to be patient with yourself. For that, you need to like yourself. Right? Which part of that line would you have an issue with? That is the part where you will need to work on first.
Okay.
Right? Do I need help? Then can I give myself help? Do I become a weak person, or do I become an unworthy person when I ask for help? Even though I was mean to that person, do I become non-deserving of help? No. You know why you did that, right? You know there is no logical reason. But you have experienced that emotional turmoil that has come out in the way of this. Right? Can I offer, first and foremost, can I offer that self-compassion? Compassion to myself. That if I can forgive others for their mistakes, can I forgive myself? Can I have that conversation? Can I share my helplessness in my action with someone else? And then do something about it as well. It's not just about having awareness and then staying with it. That doesn't heal. Awareness, insight, action. So at each of these steps, you need help. Please don't try to do things yourself. You have not been trained. And this is not conversation on psychology or on any of this thing. As a human being, we don't have that training. Right? So for empathy, can it be offered to you? Yes. But first, offer compassion. And there are a lot of, on YouTube as well, there are a lot of self-compassion videos, mindfulness-based self-compassion videos. These can be quite helpful to offer acts of kindness to yourself. How can I do that? Explore these areas. And if you are struggling, if there is an emotional barrier that is coming, take help, take help, take help. No other way.
Thank you so much,
Thank you for
Sachin.
sharing.
This was totally eye-opening, and I think I hope you've had a chance to see the chat messages. Really different perspective on empathy. Appreciate your time and your insights.
Thank you so
much,
much.
and thank you all as well for attending and staying till 12:15.
That was for a beautiful session.
Thank you. Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Sachin.
Thank you, Sachin.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
everyone.
Thank you.
It was nice.
Thank you.